Time to call the October Elizabethton Board of Education meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone for being here. At this time, I'll turn things over to Director Van Huss for a moment of silence and pledge to the flag.
Please stand. Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion and a second?
Second.
Second. Any questions, any movement on that for anyone? Okay, hearing none. The items to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. It's time for citizens to speak. We didn't have anyone request to do that, so we'll move on to special recognition. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Huss to welcome our guests.
Thank you, sir. At this time, if we could have TCAT representatives to step forward. There's Dr. Church. We also have Ms. Fink with us as well, another vice president from TCAT, and Casey Robbins, also dual enrollment coordinator and compliance specialist, I think. Did I get that right? Close enough?
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you all for allowing us to be here, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. We're here tonight to recognize the hard work of Elizabethton City Schools CTE department. And it goes without saying the hard work that they put in with the students every day. When we were at the CPAC advisory meeting there about a month ago, seeing some of the statistics, but I want to give you some statistics from our standpoint as a post-secondary partner with Elizabethton City Schools. First of all, for us to be in Elizabethton as our home base is a big deal. If you know the history of TCATs, it really started here many years ago in the 60s. So it's a big deal that we're here. Our central office is here, our main campus is here, but we now have 6 campuses in our 5-county service area and have now over 2,500 students as of the fall of this year. So for us to be here is a big deal, and we love being here in Elizabethton. Right now we have at Elizabethton High School 222 students dual enrolled in our programs. Some of them are coming to our campus. A lot of it is embedded dual enrollment in STEM and advanced manufacturing, automotive technology, computer information technology, building construction, criminal justice, off-road diesel, and our new one this year is pre-practical nursing through Ballard Academy. So that's 222 students that are able to stay at school, at the high school, and because of our relationships with the CD department and some of these great teachers are getting credit with us the times that they're there. So that's a big deal. That also represents about 27% of your all's population in Elizabethton High School. So we started recognizing school districts 3 years ago, and we started recognizing them based on and what this does is opens up pathways and opportunities for students. What we do at a technical college is we get students ready for high needs, in-demand careers that are sustainable for economic development. So for us to have these opportunities where students can have these pathways open is huge for them. Some of them may never use that credit. We've seen some not use it immediately after graduation, but then come back, and that credit's sitting there waiting on them. We've had several, particularly in the CIT program, who've accomplished a certificate while they're still in high school with us, from us, by doing this dual enrollment work. So we just want you all to know that we recognize the hard work that they put in. So we started recognizing school systems 3 years ago, but we were doing it solely based on the number of students enrolled. Well, there was a very intelligent person at a superintendent's meeting last year that said, "Hey, Dr. Church, why don't you start recognizing school districts that also have a higher proportion of their students involved?" And I said, that's a great idea, Mr. Van Huss. Let me take
looking at an angle.
let me take that back to our leadership team and President McMillan and see where we stand with that. Well, we unanimously approved to do that because that does make a difference. But tonight's unique in that you all will be recognized for being in both categories. The only school district to be in both categories. You are our bronze level dual enrollment partners for total participation with those 222 students. You're also our bronze level partners with having 27% of your total student body dually enrolled with us. So I want to say from us, congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
And I would like to bring up Mr. Brian Colbert, the Mr. Brian Colbert, the CT teachers that are here with us. If you all will
Yeah.
please come up.
We're
All the
glad
CT
you got
staff
him
that's
here.
with
We're
us.
just,
This is kind of
I
a
did-
special occasion.
I did see him at a meeting earlier today to remind him we'd be here.
Oh, so he didn't have an excuse, did he?
So we're going to go ahead now and present you all with both of those banners, our first time ever from a school district to receive both of those. So bronze level for total enrollment and bronze level for participation. Thank you all. We're going to get that picture.
You should be in it, Richard. It's your idea.
I'm good.
Once again, thank you all.
thank you,
Thank you.
thank you all.
We equally appreciate your partnership and all the things you do for the students in our community. So thank you very, very much.
Yes, thank you all. At this time, it's time for our director's update. So I'll turn it again over to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you, sir. So just a couple of quick updates here for you. Again, I just wanted to mention the TSBA annual convention that will be coming up November the 13th through the 16th. I think we're all going, and so I'm excited about that and the opportunity we'll have to spend some time together and learn as well. The convention is always very beneficial, tons of information. You kind of get a view for some potential legislation that may be heading our way, and so looking forward to that next month. Just a quick update on capital projects. Of course, the Dave Ryder Center for Athletic Performance, we've talked about it a lot. It is so close to being finished. We're down to just some finishing touches on that. And I would like to announce tonight, and you'll get some additional information on this, but Friday, November 21st at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we will have a ribbon cutting for the facility. Again, that is a Friday, November 21st at 1 p.m. So we'll get some other information out about that as well, an official invitation. Of course, all of our donors will receive that, as well as city council and other individuals in the community that have an interest. So we're excited about that. It is an absolutely incredible facility that is already being used by so many different programs in the school system. It's not just athletics. Band's already used it several times. The color guards used it several times. So classes are using it now. So it's what we had envisioned. It's even better than what we had envisioned and the impact that it's going to have on students. So thank you again for your support and making that a reality. A couple of other things. I wanted to mention that he's not here today because he's at the high school. They have a soccer game tonight. They've already started. I think it was either 5 or 5:30. But Dr. Mitten was selected as the TSSAA 24-25. Oh, where are you? There you are. You snuck in. There you are. He asked me not to say anything about this, so I thought I was going to sneak it in. He wasn't here, but sorry, you're going to get it anyway. He was the AF Bridges Principal of the Year for this athletic district. And it says that award it recognizes people who are setting the right example, doing the right things, and setting the standard for high school athletics in the state of Tennessee. So, congratulations.
Yeah.
And since I'm your boss, you can't say anything about me doing it. So, but anyway. But no, we appreciate you and the example that you set there. So, that's all I have today.
All right, well, thank you. We'll move on. Again, board member reports. I don't think we've had a lot of activities. Anybody got anything?
I don't have a
Yes.
report, but I got a comment. I want to thank Mr. Simmerly and the council for helping us getting that parking lot paved at the training facility. It looks wonderful.
Yes.
It really looks nice. If you've been by the parking lot, it's really better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It looks wonderful.
Without that, it wouldn't look nearly as good as it does.
Really
You're
turned out
exactly
real
right.
Curved in there, it looks wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've been looking at that for 50 years, hoping something would happen. Yeah, it does.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
and
great too.
yeah.
Thank you for that, too.
And I want to
Yes.
mention the city, they were so considerate, they waited until fall break to do that because they knew that doesn't happen everywhere.
No.
That just doesn't happen everywhere. So I appreciate city officials keeping that in mind because
Yeah.
obviously that's an extremely busy area before and after school and during the day. So we appreciate that
Yes.
as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anything else? All right, move on to Mr. Simley. Anything to share? All right, and it does, driving back there, having done that for several years, it just blows your mind. It really does. The facility's unbelievable, yes, but that, it would not have been the same, so thank you. All right, and now, Ms. Hackett?
Okay, I'll just share some stuff that's been going around in the school. So before fall break, we had homecoming week, which was really successful. Hope you guys got to come. Great game. And we came back from fall break to a beautiful new mural in our courtyard.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the guy who did the downtown one come and paint, and I've got lots of good student feedback. And it's really a great step in elevating that space because that's like the one part of the school that hasn't gotten much renovation attention yet.
And y'all did a great job too. I think that was, you kind of headed a committee, right?
Yes.
To help put that together, and you did a fantastic job. So,
Thank you. Yeah, in the future, we're hoping to get some seating. We're working with clubs to sponsor permanent seating. And so it'll be a place for not only lunch, but teachers can take classes out there. And so we're just really excited.
Awesome.
Next week, we have the ACT coming up for senior retake. And one awesome thing we get to do is we're offering it to the juniors as well, which is something not a lot of schools do. And so we're really excited for that. And in a couple of weeks, I get to go to New Orleans to a conference for educators called the Full Scale Symposium. And I'm going to help some teachers present about what we do at our school that makes it unique and hopefully get some input from other schools and organizations about new ways we can be a better school and hopefully spread that to the students.
And you'll report back to us about what
Naturally.
Yeah, we would love to hear it. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
pretty interesting, so. Okay.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
All right, well, thank you. All right, time to move on to the regular agenda. First item is to approve creation of an assistant swim coach at T.A. Duggar Junior High School. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Okay.
So before I mentioned, I was scanning the room to make sure that Mr. Berry wasn't here since I'm so observant. But he is watching his daughter perform in a musical at Eastside, so that's a good excuse to not be here. But he had shared some information with me. The swim program continues to grow, and we had the report last month about all the great things that are going on in the feeder program. So what you heard about last month directly affects what we're going to talk about today. And so those students, once they reach the junior high level, they have an opportunity to participate with a swim team. And those numbers over the last 4 years have fluctuated, and they've averaged out somewhere around 30 students a year. So as you can imagine, being in a pool space, it's very hard. Right now there's only one coach dealing with it, so you have 30 students in there with one coach. And that, to me, is very concerning from a safety standpoint. So creation of this position would obviously be an assistant swim coach, and we would be able to hire that person to have an extra set of eyes on students in the pool area. So I think it's definitely justified based on the participation numbers.
Okay.
Any questions for me on that?
Okay, seeing none, the item's to approve creation of an assistant swim coach at T.A. Duggar Junior High School. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, and we'll join these together, to approve first reading of board policies 5.500, discrimination, harassment of employees, and 6.3041, Title IX and sexual harassment. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Okay?
Just real quickly, both of these changes to both these policies are strictly bookkeeping reasons. If you notice in 5.500, the discrimination policy, it referenced who was in charge of that program. That has now changed to a different title, and so it goes from the Director of Federal Projects that manages that to the Director of Student Services, which is Mr. Thompson. So it's just, we're required to have that in policy, and since it was Mr. Hutchins before, and now it's Mr. Thompson, so that's the only change there. And then a similar change in 6.3041 under the Title IX and Sexual Harassment Policy. Mr. Hutchins was the lead on that, and now it's Dr. Newman. So that's the only changes in those two policies.
Okay, questions? All right, the items to approve first reading of Board Policies 5.500, discrimination, harassment of employees, and 6.3041, Title IX and sexual harassment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, approve the 25-26 TISA accountability report for expenditures in the 24-25 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, and I know you've got
Yep.
some things you need to share.
I do. A couple things to start with. This is a requirement from the state annually to do a report on how we spend our TISA dollars, our state dollars. And I want to thank Dr. Newman and Ms. Wilson as well. Spent a lot of time on this. Once this report came out, it's kind of evolved over the last few years. And now part of that requirement, if you were able to scan over it there, is we basically list goals, things that we're working on in the district that we feel are important. We have 3 goals in the TISA plan. One is a required goal that every school system in the state has to have, and it addresses 3rd grade reading. So everyone has that one in common. And then school districts have the flexibility to do additional ones. We focused on 2 other areas, and it lines up with our district improvement plan as well. It's 3 through 12 ELA, so it takes that 3rd grade and expands it out over all the grades that are tested in ELA. And then also, there's a 3 through 12 math goal as well. So not only do you have to report on how you're doing there based on proficiency rates, but you also have to tie dollars that you use in TISA that directly go toward those different goals. So if you kind of scan through that, you'll notice that the first goal is the 3rd grade reading proficiency. And last year, hold on just one second, we spent roughly a little over $500,000 just for 3rd grade ELA. If you look at the second goal, which is the 3 through 12 ELA goal, we spent almost $3.8 million. And when you think about that, God, that sounds like a lot of money. Well, it is, but when you start thinking about it's all the general education teachers and assistants that work in ELA in those areas. It's special education teachers. It's professional learning. It's interventionists that we have, and then different types of assessment tools that we have. And then the math goal, again, that was 3 through 12. We spent a little over $6 million when you look at those. So I think the whole intention of this plan is to, if we say it's important, do the dollars back that up? If we say it's important and we're not spending any money on it, then is it really important or not? So I think that's the intent of the report. So it's been a good exercise for us, again, just to check, well, I mean, are we saying the things that are important? Are we really addressing those? And the answer to that, based on this report, is definitely yes. So lots of work went into setting up a system that we can track things like salaries of individuals in those different categories. And again, Dr. Newman and Ms. Wilson spent a lot of time putting that together. So that work on this front end will make it easier in future years as we move forward with this plan. A couple of other things there, you have to have an opportunity for the public to comment on the plan. So last year, in this same time, we provided that opportunity during the board meeting. We're obviously doing that again this year, so if anyone has the desire to comment on that, we'd certainly welcome that and would love to take your thoughts and if needed, address the plan with that. But we also posted it on our website and pushed that out in social media at the end of last week, and it was up for a week for people to comment publicly on the website. So we went one step further this year and gave people another opportunity. Dr. Newman and I had a chance to meet with someone from the Corps office, the State Department, talking about the plan and just seeing if we had any questions about it. And her comment was, there's not too many districts that have had the opportunity. So once you go through it, there are certain measurables, but over a 5-year period, what you want your proficiency level, a goal for you to reach. And of the 3 goals, we exceeded in 2, and the other one we hit improvement, but we just didn't reach the goal. So 2 of the 3 we were able to exceed. And she said there's not many districts around that have been able to do that. So again, that speaks to not only the investment that we're putting in it with the financial investment, but also the investment that our teachers and staff are doing to try to address those proficiency rates in those areas, because we think they're obviously very important. So I wanted to point out that. I thought that was a key that you all needed to know, that again, just speaks to the great people that we have working with our students. So that's just a brief synopsis of the plan itself. Again, if anyone has any questions, comments on that, we certainly welcome that. I'm going to try to answer those questions. If there's something I can answer, I'm going to let Dr. Newman. So.
No, any questions?
If you look at our trends over, we had principals meeting today and we were talking about, if you look over the last 5 years since COVID and moving forward, especially at ELA, if you look every year, there's been an increase. And we talked about the fact that over that time period, it's almost, a 14 to 15% increase in proficiency rates over that time. And 15%, you think, okay, well maybe that's moving the needle for large groups of students. At 15% is a substantial number of students. So that again just speaks to the work that goes in, and we just talked to our administrators about, we should celebrate that. It is a big deal, and it just speaks to the investment that we've made and the people that we have. But there's nothing to say that in another 5 years we can't do 15 or maybe 20%. So we just need to keep pushing, trying to find ways for teachers to hone their skills, their instructional delivery and things like that, and tools that we can provide for them. We never want to get complacent thinking that we've figured it out and be satisfied where we are. There's always opportunities to grow. So
There was so much concern when this was being talked about. Was it as bad? Has it turned out being as bad as some were fearing that it would be in terms of implications for local districts?
for the funding formula,
Right.
So there are some concerns. When it first came out, they infused almost $2 billion into to funding for public schools. But there's obviously things in there that fluctuate. One of the biggest things that happened to us is about a year in, the federal government changed the way they identify economically disadvantaged students. So it looks like overnight that we had this population of economically disadvantaged students, and overnight it lowered. Well, guess what? We didn't lose those kids. They're still here. It's just the way that they identify students. So we had a significant, it's not just us, this is districts across the state, had a significant drop in that economic and disadvantaged funding. And it was to the tune of almost $200,000 to $300,000 for our district, which is a lot, when you look at our budget, significant. 2 years ago when it happened, they did a hold harmless. They funded us from that amount from the previous year. Last year, they dropped it to, was it 50% or 75%? One of the two, they dropped the amount. We don't know what's going to happen this year. So that could be a potential shortfall that's no longer there. My concern is that $2 billion, that's state money. That's not federal money. They just use this federal, system to determine how they're going to, divvy that money out to districts. So my question is, if the state has the money, why don't we just use the old definition and continue to fund school systems the way it was? Because again, they touted $2 billion. Well, it's not $2 billion anymore. It dropped significantly. I don't know the number across the state. I know the impact for us. And it's not just us. This has been a common concern across the state from superintendents. So that's a concern. The second concern is a great thing, trying to increase teacher salaries. We're all for that. We've talked about this before. They continue to give us increases each year to try to address that, but it's nowhere near enough to address all of the teachers that we have in the system. Better yet, all of the support staff. So as you know, we've stretched and pulled and tugged every way we can on our budget the last few years to try to continue to give everyone increases, and we've not been able to do as much as we would like. So there's one more year of that. So starting the 26-27 year, there'll be another increase to the base for another jump in pay. But will we be able to continue to do like we have done and give a raise to teachers as well as support staff? You know, because we've historically done that. So they're really putting us in a bind. So when you lose $250,000, $300,000, that's a big hit. That really hurts when you're looking at, you know, it's counterintuitive. Well, you're being cut here, but they're infusing a little more money here, but you're just trying to break even from the amount that you lost. Plus, you have to, there's some requirements that you have to put so much of that additional funding towards salaries. So it's really, a lot of school systems have had to dip into fund balance, and we've not had to do that. Obviously, we did that for, you all voted on that for the bonus, or the stipend that you provided for staff, which again, you didn't have to do, but you want to try to take care of our people. But we've not had to dip into our fund balance to maintain these salaries and things. So that continues to be a challenge. So it's a little frustrating when things like that happen, especially when anytime you ever talk to someone, oh, $2 billion. Well, no, it's not. It's not $2 billion, not anymore. It was then, but it's not now because you've had an incredible amount of savings. So where are those dollars going?
Yeah.
You know, they should still be coming to school systems. So those are some things we continue to fight. We continue to advocate at the state level to address some of these things.
Did the state decide to take the federal standard, or did the federal government say, state, you have to take the standard?
No, it was completely set up by the state during that process of what's the TSIP funding formula going to look like, and this is a metric that we can use to help determine how we're going to give students or school systems additional money to address the needs of economic disadvantaged students. And so once the federal government changed that definition on how students qualify for that, then in essence, it kind of in some ways saved the state money.
Yep.
I'm thinking, why are we doing that? Again, those students are still there.
Yeah.
It's like you were economically disadvantaged yesterday, but now magically because of this formula, you're not. And that's not practical when you're dealing with people. You know, that's not reality.
Affects more than us too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
We're beating that across the state, beating the drum on trying to create attention around that. So.
any other questions, comments about that? Okay, the item is to approve the 25-26 TISA accountability report for expenditures in the 2024-2025 school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. You'll notice if you need more discussion or have something you want to share, again, please feel free to do that. The next regularly scheduled board meeting will be Thursday, November 20th, here in the Mac Pierce boardroom at 5:30. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a good evening. Thank you all for being here.
All right.
Thank you, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Are we just going to sit here? Are we going to sit here?